Hi, this is Group 4, Chenling Lu. Our topic is luxury goods in China. The concept of luxury goods has existed for a long time in Chinese history. For examples, Beijing 8 Palace handicrafts, 4 treasures in the study room, 5 famous kilns. In the ancient China, beautiful handicraft artworks such as Chinaware are the equivalent luxury goods. From these examples, we can tell that China thus has its own culture of luxury goods. Chinese people expect luxury goods to have something more than its material value, the extra cultural information. To have a better understanding of LV, Gucci, and Chanel's success in China, we are going to present our discovery of Chinese luxury industry and its history. Why do Chinese people need luxury goods? In order to answer this question, we will have to look backward in the Chinese history. The historical event of Silk Road is a famous example of Chinese luxury culture. Silk Road, also called Silk Route, ancient trade route linking China with the West that carried goods and ideas between these two great civilizations of Rome and China. Silk went westwards, and wools, gold, and silver went east. China also received Nestorian Christianity and Buddhism via the Silk Road. Luxury goods identify its owner's social class. Luxury goods are always changing while its concept and meaning never changes. For example, back in the 80s, TV is a luxury good of China. It is no longer a luxury good but a necessity today. TV was so expensive and only high-class people can get one of them. It used to be a representation of a social status. In the ancient China, handicraft Chinaware artworks are used in the government of all the extremely rich families. The intention of getting luxuries equals to the wish of getting into upper-class society. Hence the existence of Chinese luxury is well developed and ethical. What makes a product to be luxury? Can a bowl of noodle become a luxury good? In order to answer these two questions, once again, we need to take a look at Chinese luxury culture. Yes, luxuries do require high qualities of materials and crafting technologies, but these aren't making them luxury. Common acknowledgement plays the most important role. Imagine that I'm bringing you a LV bag. Everything stays the same, including the price, but the LV logo is changed to LA. Can you sell it in China? Unless you're a super genius who can make the brand of LA well known in one night, you can't. Common acknowledgement is an evidence of the social class. It labels the products with a social status information. Yun, a doctor from Hong Kong University of Modern Language, expresses her idea on Zhihu.com. Luxury goods are only the representations of owners' social status. Chinese buy luxuries for its logo. Chinese like clear logos. That was even obviously before the recent anti-corruption war. Luxuries can be defined subjectively. The theories like nothing will be a luxury when you are rich enough is not applicable in Chinese market. Luxuries are existing as actual products. Jishi, a Zhihu user, provides several persuasive examples. A man who is dying and spend 1 billion for medical service isn't luxury, it's necessary. A man who is slightly sick and he spent $1,000 for a better medical plan when there exists a $10 plan is luxury. If President Xi cooks noodle and sell each bowl of it at 100,000 yuan, it would be a luxury good.
The luxury market has evolved over the years. Items viewed as luxury are now everyday necessities. Before, items were bought as a sign of wealth, and today it's mainly to enjoy them. The luxury goods market in China is still in the lead and continues to grow as the middle class rises. Constellance, Bain & Co. reported that the luxury good market grew 4% in 2016, and consumers today are reshoring their luxury purchases. What this means is before they used to travel overseas to purchase their luxury items multiple times a year. Today it's slowly started shifting to the mainland, where now most of the shopping is done locally or online. At one point the market did stall after President Xi Jinping's government placed multiple anti-corruption campaigns, leading to an economic slowdown. But over time, the luxury goods has been on a rise, and today China is still dominating. In the past, older generations would buy luxury good as a sign of wealth, but with the middle class rising, the newer, younger generation purchases these goods for their own enjoyment, and demands on luxury trends are also increasing. In this graph, you can see the comparison where it shows Chinese consumers on how they actually like to travel when it comes to their purchases. It's pretty well distributed, as they do like to travel to Europe, the US, even parts of Asia, and Hong Kong was a highly sought out destination point. When you compare it to other consumers, Europeans tend to stick to Europe, Americans tend to stick to the US, but you can see the diversity as to where Chinese consumers do like to make their purchases. Not only are Chinese consumers buying luxury goods as a sign of wealth, but they do it as well for the experience and to maintain a lifestyle. So they love to go to these really high-end known brands. And since it declined after the anti-corruption campaigns, in order to compete and come back to the mainland, a lot of multinational companies started to actually drop their prices to reduce the gap price between Europe and Asia, to encourage Chinese consumers to purchase more on their mainland. And even the government has started to dedicate duty-free zones to encourage more local purchases. The China luxury good market does have a good amount of competitors, and the top brands for consumers are Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and Gucci. As the men is also Louis Vuitton, Rolex, and Chanel. Those seem to be the three dominant brands that they go after. And once they started to adjust the prices, which Chanel started, it kind of did a ripple effect where a lot of these other multinational companies try to do that as well and adjust their prices, because they noticed that they were losing their competition, and a lot of these unknown brands started to pick up from where these higher end brands left off. Another interesting thing, I lost it, was how consumers started to not really care so much for the logo itself. The consumers are now actually more confident in wanting quality products. Before, it was all about the logo and who they were carrying or wearing, but now it appears that they're looking for goods that are newer, more advanced, and have high quality. Research found that around 39% of wealthy Chinese consumers don't even think that the logo is a priority anymore. So it's interesting to see how multinational companies are competing against each other, especially when it comes to not only their logo, but their actual quality of the product. And I guess in the next few chapters, we'll discuss more on how competitive multinational corporations are, especially the top three, which would be Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and Chanel.
Chinese luxury goods. Since the early 2000s, there was a large economic boom in China. A lot of this was due to China's 12th five-year plans, especially the 10th and five-year plan. China had become the world's second largest economy in a short amount of time, and this caused a rapid expansion. This shift in momentum gave a birth to China, gave China a birth of a new generation of consumption of luxury goods. The momentum of China's hard work and dedication uh, by sticking to their 5-year plans help establish their economy and make them a world power. The economic distribution contributed to an increase in capital expenditures and a rise in the middle class from 2000 to present day 2017. Of some of the top brands that rose from this were Gucci, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton. These are the three of the most dominant brands in China that are considered luxury goods. The first brand was Gucci. Gucci is one of China's most influential brands in China, and it established itself around the 1990s. At the very start of China's rapid expansion, sales were slow and the momentum was not behind Gucci. Gucci adapted their sales and their environment to cater to China's economy by having influential Chinese billionaire daughters or kin be in their stores because that was a way to bring in a different type of market and attract a different crowd. Because if no one, people who are wealthy want to be around other wealthy people, or wealthy people attract wealthy people. So that was key for Gucci. To talk to wealthy people in China, you need to be wealthy. And this strategy that Gucci used rose their sales rose by over 34%, and some of Gucci's top sellers are handbags and sunglasses. The second most influential brand and most popular brand in China is Louis Vuitton. It's very popular over in North America as well. Uh, the brand was cultivated from the Western ideal because in the West or in America, Louis Vuitton is very popular, and this is a luxury brand, and it was eventually taken over to China and established as a luxury good. Something that did arise out of China was a lot of counterfeit within China, which also kind of hurt Louis Vuitton's market share. Recently, the brand has had to close down several stores in China due to decrease in sales. Uh, these what caused this decline in sales was China had an anti-corruption and anti-extravagant political campaign, and over the next 5 to 10 years, Louis Vuitton is expected to lose 20% of their stores. So what Louis Vuitton has decided to do is to focus more on the customer experience in China, because at first they were just all about expanding their uh, expanding their market and expanding their market share, and they found out quickly that the market wasn't very receptive. So they took a step back now, and they decided to focus on their stores, specifically in stores, and really put and reinvest those dollars into the customer experience rather than just building a whole bunch of buildings. And the third, the most popular brand in China to this day is Chanel. What sets Chanel apart from the others is Chanel provides high-end products such as makeup, handbags, and other luxury goods to its consumers of China. And this diversity of goods attracted different demographics in China. Unlike Gucci and Louis Vuitton or Louis V, they didn't really diversify their market. So This has created a new opportunity for many luxury brands, and a lot of the competitors to Chanel, who holds the number one spot in China, are trying to cultivate their culture and their lifestyle. But unfortunately, early bird gets the worm, and Chanel has really held that competitive edge over the years. So these Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and Chanel are the three most popular brands in China to China's ever so expanding and adapting middle class.